In summer and fall 2007, the Army tested the M4 against 3 other carbines in sandstorm conditions at Aberdeen Proving Ground, Maryland, the Heckler Koch XM8, Fabrique Nationale de Herstal SOF Combat Assault Rifle and the Heckler Koch HK416. 10 of each type of rifle were used to fire 6,000 rounds each, for a total of 60,000 rounds per rifle type. The M4 suffered far more stoppages than its competitors, 882 stoppages, 19 requiring an armor to fix. The XM8 had the fewest stoppages, 116 minor stoppages and 11 major ones, followed by the FN SCAR with 226 stoppages and the 416 Hong Kong dollars with 233. In December 2006, the Center for Naval Analyses, CNA, released a report on U.S. small arms in combat. The CNA conducted surveys on 2,608 troops returning from combat in Iraq and Afghanistan over the previous 12 months. Only troops who fired their weapons at enemy targets were allowed to participate. 917 troops were armed with M4 carbines, making up 35% of the survey. 89% of M4 users reported they were satisfied with the weapon. 90% were satisfied with handling qualities such as handguards, size, and weight. M4 users had the highest levels of satisfaction with weapon performance, including 94% with accuracy, 92% with range, and 93% with rate of fire. Only 19% of M4 users reported a stoppage. And 82% of those that experienced a stoppage said it had little impact on their ability to clear the stoppage and re-engage their target. The lowest rated weapon was the M9, and the M249 had the highest rate of stoppages. 53% of the M4 users never experienced failures of their magazines to feed. 81% did not need their rifles repaired while in theater. 80% were confident in the M4's reliability, defined as confidence their weapon will fire without malfunction, and 83% were confident in its durability, defined as confidence their weapon will not break or need repair. Both factors were attributed to high levels of soldiers performing their own maintenance. 54% of M4 users offered recommendations for improvements. 20% of requests were for greater bullet lethality, and 10% were for better quality magazines, as well as other minor recommendations. Only 75% of M16 users were satisfied with it, and some expressed their desire to be issued the M4. Some issues from this report have been addressed with the issuing of the improved STANAG magazine in March 2009, and the M855A1 Enhanced Performance Round in June 2010, 2007 dust test. Barrel with a standard, government profile, cold hammer forged barrel with a longer gas system, M4 variants. The initial order of M4 carbines had a fixed carrying handle and rear sight similar to the M16A2. The flat-top upper receiver with the Picatinny rail was introduced with the M4A1 variant in 1994, and all subsequent orders for all M4 variants would have a flat-top upper receiver. Variants of the carbine built by different manufacturers are also in service with many other foreign special forces units, such as the Australian Special Air Service Regiment, SASR. While the SASR uses weapons of essentially the same pattern built by Colt for export, Colt uses different models to separate weapons for the U.S. military and those for commercial/export purposes. The British Special Air Service uses a variant on the basic theme, the Colt Canada C8 SFW, performance. The M4 carbine has been used for close quarters operations where the M16 would be too long and bulky to use effectively. It has been a compact, light, customizable, and accurate weapon. Like other firearms, failure to properly maintain the M4 can result in malfunctions. This became apparent as it saw continued use in the sandy environments of Iraq and Afghanistan. Despite this, in post-combat surveys, 94% of soldiers rated the M4 as an effective weapon system, 2006 CNA report. Special Operations Peculiar Modification. In 1992, U.S. Special Operations Command developed the Special Operations Peculiar Modification Block I kit for the carbines used by U.S. Special Operations Forces units operating under its command. The kit features an M4A1, a rail interface system handguard developed by Knight's Armament Company, a short and quick detachable M203 grenade launcher and leaf sight, a KAC sound suppressor, a KAC backup rear sight, an Insight Technologies and /PEQ, 2A visible laser/infrared designator, along with Trigicon's ACOG TA-01 NSN model and reflex sights, and a night vision sight, among many other accessories. This kit was designed to be configurable, modular, for various missions. And the kit is currently in service with Special Operations units. In 2002, the Block II modification kit was adopted featuring two new upper receivers, the Special Purpose Receiver with a 16 or 18 in, 406 or 457 mm, barrel and close-quarter battle receiver with a 10.3 in, 262 mm, barrel. M4A1s fitted with the SPR were designated by the Navy as the Mk-12 Special Purpose Rifle, a type of designated marksman rifle. M4A1s with the CQBR were designated the Mk-18 Mod 0. The Block II program then focused on component improvements to the M4A1, with the adoption of the heavier, SOCOM profile, barrel in 2004 and Free Float Rail Interface System 2 handguard from Daniel Defense in 2008. Owing to the modularity of the AR-15/M4 platform, some operators have replaced issued optics, handguards, and buttstocks with aftermarket ones. In 2018, the Upper Receiver Group Improved Modification Kit, unofficially the Block III, was approved for the conversion of Block I and Block II carbines upper receiver to an improved barrel and rail assembly, which includes a lighter free-float handguard from Geisel Automatics that incorporates the Magpul Industries MLOK rail interface system. The URGI also replaces the Block II's HEVI. M4 accessories. Like all the variants of the M16, the M4 and the M4A1 can be fitted with many accessories, such as slings, night vision devices, flash suppressors, laser sights, telescopic sights, bipods, M9 bayonet, either M203 or M320 grenade launcher, M26 mass shotgun, forward hand grips, a detachable rail-mounted carrying handle, or anything else compatible with MIL, STD, 1913 Picatinny rail. Other common accessories include the N/PEQ-2, N/PEQ-15 multimode laser, N/PEQ-16 mini integrated pointing illumination module, Trigicon TA-01 and TA-31 advanced combat optical gun sights, EOTech 550 series holographic sights, and Aimpoint M68 close combat optic. Visible and infrared lights of various manufacturers are commonly attached using various mounting methods. As with all versions of the M16, the M4 accepts a blank firing attachment for training purposes. The M4 and the M4A1 feed from 30-round Stanag magazines. Other types of Stanag-compatible magazines with different capacities may also be used. In January 2017, a USMC unit deployed with suppressors mounted to every infantry M4 service weapon. Exercises showed that having all weapons suppressed improved squad communication and surprise during engagements. Disadvantages included additional heat and weight, increased maintenance, and the greater cost of equipping so many troops with the attachment. In July 2020, the Marine Corps announced it would be ordering suppressors for use by all M4 carbines used by close combat units. The Marines began to roll out suppressors for all M4/M4A1 carbines in infantry, reconnaissance, and special operations units in December 2020. Two fire control groups exist for the M4 family, the 3-round burst for the baseline model and the fully automatic for the M4A1. Some M4A1 may also have a heavier profile barrel initially developed for SOCOM for prolonged automatic fire. Models with this heavier, SOCOM profile barrel use the same M4A1 designation, and existing weapons can swap to the heavier profile barrel at the unit armory level. Despite being its namesake, SOCOM itself has reverted to the original lighter, government profile, barrel while adopting a longer, mid-length, gas system with its newer upper receiver group improved, URGI, modifications. As the modifications only affect the upper receiver assembly. Rifles with the URGI still retain the M4A1 designation. The M4's maneuverability makes it beneficial for non-infantry troops, vehicle crews, clerks and staff officers, as well as for close-quarters battle. The M4, along with the M16A4, has mostly replaced the M16A2 in the Army and Marines. The U.S. Air Force, for example, has transitioned completely to the M4 for security forces squadrons, while other armed personnel retain the M16A2. The U.S. Navy uses M4A1S for special operations and vehicle crews. However, the M4's shorter barrel reduces its range, with its rear iron sights integrated in the removable carry handle only adjustable from 300 meters, 328 yards, up to 600 meters, 656 yards, compared to the M16A2 rear iron sights integrated in the fixed carry handle, which can reach up to 800 meters, 875 yards. With SIG Sauer being declared the winner. Their rifle entry was designated the XM5, later changed to XM7 to avoid confusion with the Colt M5, and the XM250 squad automatic weapon. Operational testing and fielding are scheduled for 2024, M4 design. The M4, and its variants, is a lightweight 5.56 by 45 mm NATO, and .223 Remington, caliber, gas-operated, magazine-fed, air-cooled selective fire AR-15 pattern firearm. Its gas operation consists of an internal piston, often incorrectly referred to as direct impingement, a rotating bolt, and bolt carrier that reciprocates into a receiver extension that is in line with the barrel. The gas system, bolt carrier, and bolt locking design is ammunition-specific. Since it does not have an adjustable gas port or valve to adjust the weapon to various propellant and projectile or barrel length specific pressure behavior. The receiver is made of forged 7075 T6 aluminum, while the 14.5 in, 368 mm, barrel, bolt carrier, and fire control group are made of steel. These components can be easily serviced and replaced by unit armories, enabling the addition of enhanced components and thus making the platform readily upgradable. The flat-top upper receiver's Picatinny rail enables the replacement of the removable carrying handle with various optics. The furniture, including the buttstock, grip, and handguard are made of reinforced plastic, although the modular nature of the weapon means that these can be swapped by the end user. The receiver extension can accommodate either a multi-position telescoping stock or a fixed A2 or LE tactical stock. The M4 is a shorter and lighter variant of the M16A2 rifle, sharing much of the same operation mechanisms and has 80% parts commonality. The chief differences are a shorter barrel of 14.5 inches rather than 20 inches as well as a shortened receiver extension and buffer. In addition to upgrade kits, in April 2012, the U.S. Army announced it would begin purchasing over 120,000 M4A1 carbines to start re-equipping frontline units from the original M4 to the new M4A1 version. The first 24,000 were to be made by Remington Arms Company. Remington was to produce the M4A1S from mid-2013 to mid-2014. After completion of that contract, it was to be between Colt and Remington to produce over 100,000 more M4A1S for the U.S. Army. Because of efforts from Colt to sue the Army to force them not to use Remington to produce M4S, the Army reworked the original solicitation for new M4A1S to avoid legal issues from Colt. On November 16, 2012, Colt's protest of Remington receiving the M4A1 production contract was dismissed. Instead of the contract being re-awarded to Remington, the Army awarded the contract for 120,000 M4A1 carbines worth $77 million to FN Herstal on February 22, 2013. The order was expected to be completed by 2018, Next Generation Squad Weapon. After the failure of the individual carbine program, the Next Generation Squad Weapon was started in 2017. The program aimed to replace the M4 Carbine and the M249 SAW with weapons that would compensate for their perceived deficiencies when fighting at longer ranges, as well as addressing concerns about the effectiveness of traditional 5.56 by 45 mm ammunition against troops wearing body armor in a future peer or near-peer conflict. In order to achieve these goals, all weapon submissions were to be chambered in a new 6.8 by 51 mm caliber. SIG Sauer, Textron Systems, FN Herstal, True Velocity, previously Lone Star Future Weapons and General Dynamics, and PCP Tactical took part in the program. Textron submitted a case-telescoped ammunition firing rifle for the program. FN Herstal submitted their Hammer IAR rechambered in 6.8 mm caliber. PCP Tactical submitted a modified Desert Tech MDRX, SIG Sauer submitted a redesigned MCX variant known as the MCX Spear. In early 2022, the program concluded. The benefits of these changes, however, have come under scrutiny from both the military and civilian firearms community. According to a PDF detailing the M4 Carbine improvement plans released by PEO Soldier, the direct impingement system would be replaced only after reviews were done comparing the direct impingement system to commercial gas piston operating system to find out and use the best available operating system in the U.S. Army's improved M4A1. In September 2010, the Army announced it would buy 12,000 M4A1s from Colt Firearms by the end of 2010, and would order 25,000 more M4A1s by early 2011. Additionally, the service branch planned to buy 12,000 M4A1 conversion kits in early 2011 and bought 65,000 more later that year. Eventually, the Army would upgrade all of its M4S to M4A1s, although the Marine Corps would largely abstain from the effort. Conversion of M4S to the M4A1 in the Army began in 2011, as part of the Product Improvement Program, which included the conversion of 300,000 M4 carbines to the M4A1. The 101st Airborne Division began fielding newly built M4A1s in 2012, and the U.S. 1st Infantry Division became the first unit to convert their M4S to M4A1 standard in May 2014. Upgrades included the heavier Sock'em barrel to better dissipate heat from sustained automatic firing, the full-auto trigger group with a more consistent trigger pull than the burst groups to enable better semi-automatic accuracy, and the ambidextrous selector lever for easier use with left-handed shooters. The M4A1 conversion increases weapon weight from 7.46 pounds, 3.38 kilograms, to 7.74 pounds, 3.51 kilograms, counting a backup iron sight, forward pistol grip, empty magazine, and sling. Each carbine upgrade costs $240 per rifle, for a total cost of $120 million for 500,000 conversions. 300 conversions can be done per day to equip a brigade combat team per week, with all M4A1 conversions to be completed by 2019. By July 2015, major Marine Corps commands were endorsing switching to the M4 over the M16A4 as the standard infantry rifle, just as the Army had done. This is because of the carbine's lighter weight, compact length, and ability to address modern combat situations that happen mostly within close quarters. If a squad needs to engage at longer ranges, the M27 infantry automatic rifle can be used as a designated marksman rifle. Approval of the change would move the M16 to support personnel, while armories already had the 17,000 minutes and 4 seconds in the inventory needed to outfit all infantrymen who needed one. In October 2015, Commandant Robert Neller formally approved of making the M4 carbine the primary weapon for all infantry battalions, security forces, and supporting schools in the USMC. The switch was to be completed by September 2016. In December 2017, the Marine Corps revealed a decision to equip every Marine in an infantry squad with the M27, while the M4 would be retained for leadership billets at the platoon level and above. MARSOC also retains the M4, as its shorter barrel is more suited to how they operate in confined spaces. Improved M4. In 2009, the U.S. Army took complete ownership of the M4 design. This allowed companies other than Colt to compete with their own M4 designs. The Army planned on fielding the last of its M4 requirement in 2010. In October 2009, Army weapons officials proposed a series of changes to the M4 to Congress. Requested changes included an electronic round counter that records the number of shots fired, a heavier, SOCOM barrel, and possibly replacing the Stoner expanding gas system with a gas piston system. The heavier, SOCOM barrel, was first issued to Special Forces operators in the early 2000s to enable greater sustained automatic fire in certain immediate action drills, although SOCOM itself would eventually return to the standard, government profile, barrel in its subsequent M4 improvement programs. Interest in the M4 carbine was accelerated after the Battle of Mogadishu, 1993, in which Rangers complained that their M16 rifles were unwieldy, whereas members of Delta Force in the same battle, equipped with the CR-15, had no such complaints. The M4 carbine first saw action in the hands of U.S. troops deployed to Kosovo in 1999 in support of the NATO-led Kosovo force. It would subsequently be used heavily by U.S. forces during the War on Terror, including in Operation Enduring Freedom and the Iraq War. In the Army, the M4 had largely replaced M16A2S as the primary weapon of forward-deployed personnel by 2005. The M4 carbine also replaced most submachine guns and selected handguns in U.S. military service, as it fires more effective rifle ammunition that offers superior stopping power and is better able to penetrate modern body armor. In 2007, the USMC ordered its officers, up to the rank of lieutenant colonel, and staff non-commissioned officers to carry the M4 carbine instead of the M9 handgun. This is in keeping with the Marine Corps doctrine, every Marine a rifleman. The Marine Corps, however, chose the full-sized M16A4 over the M4 as its standard infantry rifle. United States Navy Corpsmen E5 and below are also issued M4S instead of the M9. While ordinary riflemen in the Marine Corps were armed with M16A4S, M4S were fielded by troops in positions where a full-length rifle would be too bulky, including vehicle operators, fire team and squad leaders. As of 2013, the U.S. Marine Corps had 80,000 M4 carbines in their inventory. In 1982, the U.S. government requested Colt to make a carbine version of the M16A2. At the time, the Colt M16A2 was the Colt 645, also known as the M16A1E1. Later that year, the U.S. Army Armament Munitions Chemical Command helped Colt develop a new variant of the XM177E2, and the U.S. Army redesignated the XM177E2 to the XM4 carbine, giving the name as the successor to the M3 carbine. The carbine used the same upper and lower receiver as the M16A1, and fires the M855 cartridge along with the older M193 cartridges. In 1983, the 9th Infantry Division requested a quick reaction program for a 5.56 mm carbine to replace the M1 carbine and M3 submachine gun in service. The XM4 was tested by the Army's Armament Research and Development Center in June 1983. Later, the gun was updated with improved furniture, and a barrel with rifling of 1 turn in 7 inches, 180 mm. The ARDC recommended additional commonality with the M16A2 rifle, as well as lengthening the barrel to 14.5 inches, 370 mm. In January 1984, the U.S. Army revised the QRP, and a month later, it formally approved development of the new carbine. In June 1985, the Picatinny Arsenal was given a contract to produce 40 prototypes of the XM4. Initially a joint program between the Army and Marines, in 1986 the Army withdrew their funding. The XM4 was finished in 1987, and the Marines adopted 892 for that fiscal year, with the designation, Carbine, 5.56 mm, M4 owing to experience from the 1991 Gulf War. The Army gave Colt its first production contracts for M4 carbines in May and July 1993, and M4A1 carbines for United States Special Operations Command, SOCOM, operators in February 1994. The history of M4 carbine. The M4 Carbine is a 5.56 by 45 mm NATO assault rifle developed in the United States during the 1980s. It is a shortened version of the M16A2 assault rifle. The M4 is extensively used by the U.S. military, with decisions to largely replace the M16 rifle in U.S. Army, starting 2010, and U.S. Marine Corps, starting 2016, combat units as the primary infantry weapon and service rifle. The M4 has been adopted by over 60 countries worldwide, and has been described as one of the defining firearms of the 21st century. Since its adoption in 1994, the M4 has undergone over 90 modifications to improve the weapon's adaptability, ergonomics and modularity, including the M4A1, which strengthened the barrel and replaced the burst fire option with a fully automatic option, the SOPMOD, an accessory kit containing optical attachments, and the underbarrel weapons such as M203 and M320 grenade launchers to the Master Key and M26 mass shotguns. In April 2022, the U.S. Army selected the XM7 rifle, a variant of SIG MCX Spear, as the winner of the Next Generation Squad Weapon Program to replace the M16/M4. History. Following the military adoption of the Armalite AR-15 as the M16 rifle, carbine variants were also adopted for CQC operations, the first of which was the CR-15 family of weapons, which was used in the Vietnam War. However, these rifles had design issues. As the barrel length was halved to 10 inches (25 centimeters), which upset the ballistics, reducing its range and accuracy and leading to considerable muzzle flash and blast, meaning that a large flash suppressor had to be fitted.